Hey, what's up everybody? Coach Chris here with Beyond Strength Performance Nova in Dulles, Virginia. And in this week's video, we're back again, but this time we're going to do a three-part video series, and we're talking conditioning. Why conditioning? Well, we found that conditioning is the part that people overthink more than anything. And when I say overthink, maybe they actually don't put enough thought into it. How do people commonly approach conditioning when it comes to general population? Well, look at some of the most popular fitness trends out there right now. Everything's high intensity, run yourself into the ground. You better know that you got a good workout because you have to pick yourself up off the ground or else you're wasting your time. And the reality is that that's not true. We're going into our 6th year of business here working with general population clients on top of athletes at Beyond Strength Performance Nova, and we found a better way, a way that leaves people feeling great across the week, a way that leads people to their goals, whether that's fat loss, performance, just wanting to feel better, whatever it may be. And what we're talking about is spreading stressors across the week. We can't go hard every single day. I mean, you can, but that's probably not going to fare well in the mid to long term. So what we do is we're starting to experiment with names. These names may not stick, but essentially we're talking about the beginning of the week, we hit the ground running. And then in the middle of the week, we go middle of the week, middle of the road. And then we finish the week with what we're just calling like easy weekend training. And what we're talking about is that if we're going to do higher intensity training, and when I say higher intensity, I mean higher load and speed, not higher intensity like Tabatas and all these crazy things you hear going on right now, but higher loads, higher speeds. We're going to do that on Monday or whatever your earlier training day in the week is. Then middle of the week is when we're going to do things that are going to be a little bit more middle of the road, time under tension. Not as much load, not as much speed, but now we're getting after it. Maybe this is more of like your 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, things like that. And then later in the week, easy weekend, we're getting into what's called cardiac output training. We're doing, maybe very low intensity movement circuits. We're keeping our heart rate between like 110, 140, 120 to 150, and we're working recovery. And what this has been doing is allowing our people to train intensely and then stimulate and then recover really well over the weekend to do that again. And we've been having great success. Again, success with things like fat loss, success with performance, success with feeling better. And at the end of the day, those kind of cover all the things that people are after in here. So, over these next 3 weeks, we're going to go in and show some examples of each of these 3 things. And if you're interested in learning more about this, and maybe going through an assessment and seeing where you should be, because we're not just blindly applying this stuff to people, head over to bspnova.com and sign up for your free consultation. And we would love to sit down and chat with you, take you through an assessment, and just give you our recommendations on what we think you should be doing. So again, this is Coach Chris, Beyond Strength Performance Nova here in Dulles, Virginia. Stick around a second because we're going to show an example of hit the ground running. All right, so hit the ground running. There's a lot of things that we could do here, but again, we're not talking about super high intensity, run yourself into the ground conditioning, and to be honest with you, we don't really do any of that here. But if someone really wanted to do that, we would actually do that on like a Friday and follow that up with cardiac output over the weekend, but that's for a whole nother lesson. What we're going to show you right now, this hit the ground running conditioning, is going to be short bouts of work followed by longer bouts of rest, but the goal is to perform at a very high intensity, either move a good bit of load or move things very rapidly for the intervals I'm going to work. So right now I'm going to show you 10 seconds of work with 50 seconds of rest. I'm going to go back and forth between battling ropes and the rower. Okay? So here's what that looks like. So my goal, you can tell 10 seconds of work, not a long time, but I'm already a little bit winded because I'm putting everything that I have into that 10 seconds. And then as you can see on the clock here, I still have 35 seconds of rest to get over here, take my time, and get set up in the rower. And as you can hear, I'm already a little bit winded, but I'm not killing myself. So I'm all strapped in, ready to go. And I've got 20 seconds. So now, the idea is to put energy into big pools on this rower. 45 seconds, take my time, and I'm headed back over to the ropes. Right? So 3 rounds. I went pretty fast. I got trained at a high intensity. I didn't kill myself. And then I would follow this up middle of the week, middle of the road. Whew. We'll be talking about that in a week. So again, Coach Chris, Beyond Strength Performance Nova, bspnova.com. Sign up for your free consultation, and we're pumped to meet you. We'll talk next week.